Hey, how's it going? My name is jackiefishhh and welcome to a brand new type of video I'm going to be trying out on the channel. We're going to be doing some time-lapse videos, basically where I stick in just a ton of AI empires into Total War multiple empires and just see how it pans out over the period of like 200 turns. I'm going to go ahead and use a ton of different mods. Sometimes we'll test Steel Faith Overhaul, sometimes we'll use that random mod which puts all these different lords in all these different starting positions, which I think could be a ton of fun. And then maybe there's just some other mods you'll suggest. Maybe we'll see if Radius changes up the battlefield a lot. And if you guys want to see more of this type of video, then let me know by dropping a like and a comment down below. It really helps out the channel, and if these videos do well, I'll be more likely to do more of them in the future, alongside obviously the rest of my battle and campaign content, because this stuff is always, you know, really interesting to me. So I thought you guys might be interested to see how the Mortal Empires plays out over the first 200 turns of a campaign. So yeah, we'll just jump straight into it. There are a few more things I need to talk about, but we'll do that whilst the time lapse is going on, and let's get started. Okay guys, we are now in the campaign. As you can see, it's going to be flying through the turns in the background. The mod I'm using goes ahead and lets you simulate like 100 turns at a time. Obviously it still has to run through them all, so this is quite time consuming to do, but if you guys enjoy it, I'm more than happy to make more content on it, because these videos are always really fun and different to make, because I don't know, like, you know, what might happen in these campaigns, and generally in Total War the campaigns do kind of play out the same, but you can always get these crazy interesting results. As well as this, with the mod, you have to play as Archaon, so because of that, unfortunately, there's going to be no Chaos events firing, so I feel like the Empire's going to be pretty strong in this because they have no Empire to deal with. Also, you're going to be seeing every 25 turns, you're going to be seeing the turns kind of pop up in the left-hand side in 25 turn intervals, so it'll go 25, 50, 75, 100, and basically just let you know that, you know, oh, we're at this point in the campaign. So when you see something pop up there, be sure to check it out. Yeah, there we go, exactly, turn 25. So, turn 25, we can see that the vampire counts are doing a pretty decent job in the middle of the old world. They're really pouring into the Empire. Isabella and also Vlad are kind of doing their thing and doing some pretty nice damage. The Empire have also taken some land in the north of the old world as well, moving up towards Norska. Wintertooth, I think, is already confederated, and they pretty much have the entirety of Norska, which is really scary. Looking over into Ulthuan, the High Elves have taken kind of the entirety of the east of it, and the rest of the other elves are kind of consolidating their power as well. It's interesting to see the High Elves actually going ahead and taking, you know, the east first. Normally they go west and kind of take up that entire border. The Dark Elves are doing okay. We can also see Skaven and the Tomb Kings doing pretty nice up by Nagaron. Very impressive. Over in Bretonia at the moment, it's pretty standard. No one really doing too much. Skarsnik for the Goblins are doing okay. The Wood Elves are pushed out a bit and taken out the Lady of the Light, which is interesting. So coming up to turn 50 now, the Empire are making some progress, but the vampire counts are really the faction that is standing out right now. Both Manfred and Isabella have just gone ahead and claimed a large portion of the Empire, and I feel like that's mainly because there's just no one really to stop them. They only really have one enemy at the beginning of the game, and they're kind of in one direction, so it just allows the vampire counts to really make their presence known. And the Empire, actual Cole Franz's faction, doesn't look like he's willing to go south. He's heavily focused northwards, confederating with a few factions there. If you're interested in kind of what the factions are, I stuck up the Legendary Lord list on the right-hand side. That doesn't have Tomb Kings on. I couldn't find one with an updated version of Tomb Kings, but it does have all the other factions in there, along with like the Beastmen, the Wood Elves. We have obviously the High Elves, Lizardmen, etc. Master Mundi is doing a great job over in his land. But oh nice, we actually do see some of the High Elves. I think it's Ariel, is that what she's called? The new DLC faction, doing a pretty nice job there of moving into the land to the west of Ulthuan, and she's actually taken quite a few pieces of land right there. If they were to confederate with the High Elves, that'd be great. So we just come up to turn 75. The Orcs over in the old world have completely confederated. They're looking very scary, taking out Karak Azul I think it is. Manfred and his roaming horde have basically secured most of their land in the Empire, having confederated, and the Empire have just struck back pretty brutally, moving in and killing Vlad and Isabella in their Vampire Count faction and pushing pretty heavily. I mean, the Empire are going crazy. Looking in the mountains as well, we can see Skarsnik has taken a lot of land, supported by the Wood Elves to the south of them, and also Skaven have done great. Oh my god, look at that as well. The High Elves have made their way over into the old world, moving into the southern lands, is it? The Border Princes lands, their area. Actually taking out where, I think, no, that's not Tilia. Tilia's the one still alive. Yeah, they're moving right in and exterminating the Skaven threat. That's crazy. Looking over in the northeast, or the northwest, sorry, the Skaven and the Tomb Kings have just completely annihilated the Dark Elves, really just securing Nagaron for themselves and uniting against the enemy. So we are currently 100 turns in. I think the main powers in here are definitely going to be the Skaven in Nagaron, along with the Tomb Kings. The High Elves have done great, so take pretty much wiping out the entire Skaven threat in the old world. The Greenskins, obviously, and the Wood Elves actually surprisingly doing very, very good. It's going to be interesting to see how it does fare now that we're starting to rack into the hundreds of turns. I think around like turn 100 and something will be very, very interesting. Like turn 150 will be very, very interesting to see how that kind of pans out. You know, what side, when these empires do really start to clash, what side comes out on top. I think that'd be very, very cool. And also you can see the Skaven in the northeast as well, up where the Chaos normally come in, doing a pretty decent job up there. Most of them all becoming viewed in the battle. I don't think the High Elves actually have anything for themselves to do now in the old world, so we might see them expanding into Nagaron and the rest of that icy wasteland up there. It's also going to be very interesting to see. Normally what happens between the Dwarfs and the Greenskins is they end up, basically the Dwarfs just end up winning over time and securing a lot of territory against the Greenskins. But I mean, at the moment, they're holding strong. The Wood Elves as well have expanded pretty heavily, wiping out Bretonia as we do go into turn 125. So, I mean, not really what you expect to see. A turn 125, basically the Dark Elves only having one province left. You normally expect the Dark Elves to dominate the entire globe. The Lizard Men doing very great as well. And the Greenskins are still alive and kicking, very, very strong. The Dwarfs have secured most of their mountains to the north, but, you know, they're still under a lot of pressure. As long as they hold the Lonely Road, or they just lost a province on the, because of the King's Road, I can't remember what it's called, but the main set by Karazak-Karak. They actually did lose one of their provinces there, so we could see the Greenskins really breaking upon them. The Empire have gone into man mode. Cole Franz has levied the Elector counts, and he has just broken the Vampire counts. Wow, considering how strong the Vampire counts are, the Empire is really just going in on them, moving on to Castle Drakenhof, looking to take that out. The Tomb Kings and the Skaven, basically, I don't know if they're at war. It'd be great if I could have like a diplomacy screen up the entire time, but because the way that the kind of simulation works, it doesn't, we can't stop it. Once it goes through 100 turns, it's just going and going and going, and you can't stop it. It'd also be really nice if the colors updated as well. As you can see on the map mode, the ownership doesn't really change, so it's really hard to update that. Obviously, when you're simming 100 turns, you have to click it manually every single turn. So it'd be nice if the ownership did update as well every single turn, so we could really see these colors coming out. That's why I've left the maps on. It'd be even better if we had a system where I could get rid of all the flags in the cities and just have the Empire like written across their territory like they have in Paradox games. It'd be much better for you guys to view, but I mean, I guess this is okay as well. The Wood Elves have secured so much territory. That's actually pretty crazy how well they've done. Nothing else really changing besides the Empire securing Castle Drakenhof and basically pushing all the Vampire counts to the north. Ooh, we have a High Elf invasion in the northwest there, securing some Skaven provinces, and I think they've taken Nagaron. I think that High Elf province right there in the northwest is Nagaron through the sea, or maybe it's the one below. not actually 100% sure. But yeah, the High Elves have gone in to reclaim their Dark Elf brothers' lands away from the Tomb Kings and Skaven. I don't think they're at war with the Tomb Kings, just with Skaven at the moment. That's pretty interesting. There is still one Dark Elf faction as well to the south of them, still alive. So, you know, the Dark Elves still have a decent amount of territory as they rise up against Alarielle, and doing pretty decent. Alarielle's actually pretty big as well. Not as big as the Wood Elves. I think the Wood Elves are like the second biggest faction next to the Empire, as the Empire just ripping apart the forces of the Vampire Counts. Also, the High Elves have come in. Oh my god, the High Elves have gone into Dwarven territory. They've taken the Border Prince's lands. Wow. I wonder if they sailed that entire way around. They also took out Skaven Blight. I think they did that a while ago. So the High Elves right now are going in every direction, trying to bring peace and prosperity to everyone. That's very interesting, though. I doubt the Dwarfs will be happy about this. That is definitely a grudge right there, as the Empire continue to move themselves into the Wintertooth territory right there, starting to move into the dark, cold abyss of Norsca. Interesting though, like without chaos coming in, the Dark Elves the Empire do very, very well once they get themselves under control and can confederate with all the other elector counts and really do. And there we have it, the Vampire Counts have now been destroyed. Kolfran's looking to eradicate the scum from this earth. Surprising as well, the Dwarfs are finally starting to kick in. I imagine with the help of the High Elves, surprisingly, they're starting to move down, and as you can see, they've just secured a large portion of territory. Okay, so there we have it, guys. 200 turns in Mortal Empires, and really, I was not expecting the kind of gooder factions to do as well as they did. As well as that, I just want to say, normally, I think at this point in the video, we would jump into the save file and look around the campaign map, whilst we're there, so we can literally zoom in, see what's happening, and see, especially stuff down in the south, which wasn't on the time lapse because of the camera angle. But unfortunately, the video or the save file did corrupt in the campaign, so I can't do that. So I'm just going to look at a picture for now, but I think normally we would do the campaign thing and just zoom around and see what factions are, you know, kind of the best and what armies they have and power rankings and stuff like that, alliances. I think that'd be really, really cool. But yeah, unfortunately we just have to look at this picture and see how it all went down. I think the Empire did amazing, but I don't think that's that surprising when they don't have to deal with the Chaos Invasions. Normally the Chaos Invasions just put so much pressure on them and just ruin them, and that allows like Manfred and his boys to do what they did. The Vampire Counts only have one province left down towards the Dwarfs. There's only Vlad and Isabella in their love nest, obviously making lots of more vampires, I guess, to try and relive their race, which is kind of funny. The Wood Elves surprisingly did amazing, taking out the whole of Bretonnia and securing that territory for themselves, lots and lots of outposts. They also absolutely ruined Skarsnik, who looked for a time to do pretty decently, but the Wood Elves and their bowmen were just too great. The Dark Elves got absolutely annihilated, or at least, the Dark Elves have an okay empire there in the middle parts of the New World by the is it the Black Coast or the Bleak Coast? I think it's the Bleak Coast. They still have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 provinces, which is not too bad whatsoever. However, actual Dark Elf factions did not do too great, honestly, with the Tomb Kings and the Skaven really doing the damage to them, and then obviously Ariel coming in right towards the end with the support of a few High Elf factions claiming a lot of territory. The High Elves as a race, I think, probably did the best out of anyone, expanding in every single direction and securing Ulth 1 pretty early on. They also moved, deep into the old world as well, securing, I can't remember what Karak that is, but that is definitely a Karak, their most eastern province that they have right next to Karazar Karak. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like Karak, does it begin with a B, or no, Karak Var maybe? Maybe it's Karak Var. So I'm sure the Dwarfs will be writing that one down in the Book of Grudges and ready to go and smash them out and start another 200 or 100 year elf war, like they did previously. The Lizardmen doing okay, Mazdamundi securing his territory, and that's why it's so annoying not being able to go into the save file this time, because I can't see how the Last Defenders did, I can't see how Queek did. No one really managed to claim No one really... No, actually did. Oh, I lied. Skarsnik does have Carrack 8 Peaks, right? Or no, Carrack 8 Peaks is further down. Carrack 8 Peaks is like... Is it? No, that's Carrack 8 Peaks that they have, right? Yeah, that is. Again, it's annoying I can't see that. So Skarsnik managed to reclaim Carrack 8 Peaks. Belagar didn't really do much. He has 2 provinces right now. And I think Queek just got smashed in the south as he hasn't come up whatsoever. Yeah, and again, it'd be nice to see how the goddamn Tomb Kings did as well, because they really aren't on the map at the moment. So next time we'll be able to see all of that. Please in the comments down below give me feedback on this series. Would you guys prefer me to go ahead and simulate 25 turns, speed it up like I did in this, and then every 25 turns we jump into the campaign and then actually just look around, zoom around the map? Or would you prefer me to do it every 50 turns? Is that a good idea, or would you prefer it the way it is now of just me talking as it goes on in the background? Do let me know, as I really want to try and craft these series into being more interesting. So if you have any ideas, do let me know. Also, let me know what mods you want me to use, whether it's Steel Faith, Radius, any other mods out there. Maybe there's a couple mods that make a certain faction really OP, and we can see how much land they take in the first 200 turns. I think that could be pretty fun to do. Unfortunately, I don't think we can do any Chaos events, because the Chaos you play as Archeon, so I don't think there's any way to change that, unfortunately. But overall, it's pretty interesting. It's also really annoying, I think I mentioned this, that the colour doesn't change when we end the turns on the map, so the map just stays the same as it is on turn 1. I can maybe update that every 50 turns or something if I set it to that. Maybe I can sort it out manually. Again, let me know if that's a big deal. It'd be really great, as I said, if it was like Paradox and we just have the name titles, you know, the Empire across their territory. But oh well, you know, we'll work and figure these things out if you guys do want to see more. And if you do, make sure to drop a like and a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.